Hello, my name is Melissa Carter. I'm the blogger at You Only Have Your Shelf to Blame, a blog I started during the pandemic because I was there with all my books and I wanted to talk about all the books that I had chosen to be on my shelf because they were very diverse, I will tell you. And this one is emotional because it was a book that I purchased at a very difficult time in my life. I was desperate to find some solace in the experience of knowing my mother's death was coming soon. We all have to go through that at some point in our lives. It may not be the death of a parent, but it's the death of someone close to you. You may have already experienced it. You may have never experienced it, but you also may be the person right now who knows it's coming. And that is not a fun place to be. That's not the anticipation. That's not like you're about to win an award or be, graduating from high school or doing something great in a few months. It's something that you don't know what to expect. And you just have to keep going because death doesn't stop. And so this book is called Diary of a Death Doula. And it's Deborah Diamond. She has a PhD. She's also a psychic. And I will say that if you're someone who is skeptical of psychics and that type of ability, I still recommend the book because there's other things in here that are important. But she does talk about her psychic visions during her job. So Death Doula, I'd never heard of that. These are volunteers that help people pass on. You hear of doulas for births, but death doulas actually do exist. I mean, in this book, I also looked up, in different areas of the country, you can find people who are volunteer services. And basically, a death doula is someone that will just sit with the person who is dying, maybe to sit with the family, just kind of be there as someone from the outside coming in and giving support. But they're special people who are there to help you through, and it's an unthinkable experience. It just is. Whether it's from old age or whether it's from trauma, death is something that is it's hard to describe. It really is hard to describe, and especially when it's the death of someone close to you. So I got this book. It was probably a few months before my mother passed, and basically Deborah talks about her volunteer efforts and she gives 25 lessons that teach us about the afterlife. And in it, it's basically 25 stories of people that she has gone and sat with and her experience with them. And like I said, now she talks about her psychic visions. If you are someone who is, intuitive or is interested in that kind of thing, you will enjoy what Deborah has to say. But I don't want people who aren't to not get something or not get this book or something like it, because there's still the experiences of her going in, and she gives the observations of how the family is handling it. She gives her observations on the consistency of when people pass. If you've ever wondered, I was there every day and then I went to go take a shower or I went to go eat and then they passed. I mean, she shows the consistency of when sometimes the passing takes place. She mainly does her efforts in hospice facilities. She doesn't talk about any experiences where she goes into someone's home, but if you have someone who is in hospice at home, then death doulas are also available for that. So again, it's not the happiest of subjects, but it's realistic. It's something we all have to deal with. And so Diary of a Death Doula, very interesting read, and something that truly Deborah Diamond helped me through a very dark part of my life. So if you have a book that you would recommend for someone who is going through this tough time that no one wants to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it because somebody that if it's not you, is having to face this, then leave it in the comments, because those are very solitary moments. You can be with your friends and with your family for consolation, but dealing with death is something that's a very personal experience. And so books sometimes really help with that. So if you have a suggestion, I invite you to leave it in the comments. You can always go to You Only Have Your Shelf to Blame, because like I said, my bookshelf is filled with all kinds of different books, from humor to death to graphic novels to you name it. So I'd love for you to check those out at You Only Have Your Shelf to Blame. And until next time, I hope you take care, and we'll see you soon.